Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here,
And BlueDragonFive.
And Sam Magic.
and welcome to the Main Street Cinema, the show where we discuss the finer points of filmmaking. And another day, another summer, another Marvel Cinematic Universe movie has come out.
Dun dun dun.
It's not Spider-Man. It's not Spider-Man, although Spider-Man is referenced in it, which is cool, which is very cool indeed. I'm sorry, I feel that was a bit of a spoiler. You don't know how he's referenced. Anyways.
That's that glimmer of vagueness.
Yes, what a tease. What a
But
tease.
we're here talking about the second most famous insect named Marvel hero, am I right?
Is Ant-Man more famous than Wasp?
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're in the same comic, pretty much. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. I think they kind of get equal billing.
I think Ant-Man is definitely more famous because, like, people actually know who Ant-Man is
yeah.
before, like, I guess I should say mainstream knows who Ant-Man is before the film came out.
Yeah, people know who the original Ant-Man is, and then everything after that's like the fan base stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so essentially, we feel it appropriate because we, all three of us, like the movie to various degrees. I think we probably like to love it. So we're just going to give our initial reactions to it, what worked, what didn't work, and then at the very end we'll do some spoiler talk to kind of go over some of the spoilerific Marvel Cinematic Universe tie-in stuff that's going on in this movie. And rest assured, towards the end of the week we'll be doing a long-form spoiler podcast, like really breaking the film down in detail with characters and plot arcs and all that good stuff. And this will be after I have the chance to see the film again. BlueDragonFive, have you only seen it once?
Yes, I'm seeing it again this week also. So.
Okay, cool. So by the time we do that spoiler cast, we'll have both seen it twice, so that'll be good. All right, so BlueDragonFive, why don't you start us off? What did you think of Ant-Man? What was your impression coming out of the theater?
Coming out of the theater, I mean, I really like this. Really like this movie. When I went into it, I didn't have a doubt in my mind it would be. See, some people were really trepidatious going into this movie. I knew it was going to be good because just from the trailer, it's kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Just going in with the trailer, man, this is an interesting premise. I'm sold when I hear like it's kind of almost a Marvel version of a Batman Beyondian premise. I was sold on it. I was a little concerned because of all the Edgar Wright kind of shifting of that, because I was wondering how much of that original notion was going to be lost for the Peyton Reed stuff. But no, they kept a lot of it from what I.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What I saw, and I was happy with that. So the point is, it was what I was expecting to be. The only other real worry I had was for the villain, but it's we'll get into that. But when I came out, I was really happy with it. I really liked it.
Okay, Sam.
Tiki, why don't you go next?
All right, fair enough. So I walked into it. I kind of had the same sort of trepidations in terms of, the Edgar Wright stuff. That really kind of let the balloon, let the air out of my balloon when it came to this movie when Edgar Wright was released from it, because I was stoked for it. I had the feeling that this could have been potentially, like, by far the best Marvel movie, and I don't think it's the best Marvel movie, but I do think it's better than a lot of the Phase 1 standalone movies, and I think it's right on the same caliber with Winter Soldier for me, with Guardians of the Galaxy kind of edging both of them out in terms of being, like, my favorite Marvel movie. But that's kind of where I lie. But my overall impression of it is a lot of the Edgar Wright stuff was kept intact. Oh boy. And we lost him. He'll probably be back.
No, he just shrunk, Tiggy. He's right here.
Good point. So, you know what I mean? With the Edgar Wright stuff, I feel like a lot of it was kept intact. A lot of his style was there. It felt like an Edgar Wright movie, and I couldn't have been more happy about that. I feel like they really did a good job of serving the man well, in addition to, like, we'll talk more kind of like in the spoiler stuff about why I think Edgar Wright was let go and what scenes in particular I feel like they kind of added in that Edgar Wright wasn't happy with.
Well, yeah, I've heard some of that stuff too.
But but overall, man, just in terms of the pacing of this movie and the way it's edited together and stylized, it's a trip. It really is. Like, I mean, you need to see Scott Pilgrim versus Squirrel. I mean,
Well,
I told you this before, but
I think the best thing we can say about this movie is it's a whole lot of fun. Whether you love it or not, it's a lot of fun.
I say this is the closest thing Marvel's come to doing a straight-up comedy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Also, you have the right guy for it, Paul Rudd. I mean, come on.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, my God. I feel like, and there is some deep stuff going on here. Mm-hmm. There's some stuff that really resonates. I mean, not on the same level as Winter Soldier or Guardians, I don't think. But now you were telling me when you first saw this movie that you thought it was a stellar introduction to Phase 3. So why don't we get into that a little bit?
Okay. Well, while someone's caught in the quantum realm, we'll keep going.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
He'll be fine. You'll see. Okay, so going. I think this is a great step for Phase 3 because it's a light. It has a bit of that really kind of like you said, Tiki. It's not too dark or anything. Not that the Marvel movies have really been dark. I mean, it's not as heavy or emotional because it is if you have a guy who can shrink, that's a really fun idea, and they have fun with it. And I think going forward with Phase 3 is that they told it. Phase 1's introductories, that's your origin stories primarily. 2 is when things are getting a little more serious. You're delving into the universe more. You're building to a greater idea. And now it's like Marvel just not falling to the thing of, well, we can't just go completely dire like a third act, but like a third act should be. It kind of like it's using like Star Wars as a model here. 2 is when things kind of ends on like an uncertain note, and then 3 is like kind of remind you why you love the stuff, and then kind of just spicing up a little. I think Ant-Man does that properly, kind of marking off what they might be doing for Phase 3. That it embodies the Marvel vibe of all the movies and just in comics in general too. Go for it. That it's a fun adventure with some morality tales in there, and you root for your guy, even though at first he may not seem the most heroic type. And I think it's a good way to start Phase 3.
I feel like it's the most self-contained out of all the Marvel movies. And as I get older, I kind of appreciate more and more stories that are smaller in scale and more self-contained.
Well, this is the movie for that.
Right. Well, yeah, of course, pun very much intended. But but it's a heist, They got to steal some shit. And by the way, let's just get this out of the way right now. We had that great line in the trailer with Michael Douglas, like, I want you to break into a place and steal some stuff. But then in the movie, Paul Rudd says, my days of stealing shit are over. And you're like, oh, is Michael Douglas going to say shit? And then, of course.
Well, why is that a big deal? He said that all the time.
I just thought it was good because it added a twist to the line. Because it made the line funnier, even though we'd heard the line before. So, like, when he said the line, he said it with extra gusto. He was like, I want you to break into a place, steal some shit. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but you see what I mean, though, with like going in the Phase. It's kind of a fresh feel of familiar territory. You know what I mean? It's like saying, well, I think overall, sorry if I don't mean to cut you off, but I think with Phase 3. I was
just going to say, do you want to go into? Let's jump right into things like strengths of the film.
Sure, yeah. But yeah, I'm not saying Phase 3 before getting into that. Just, with Phase 3 on the whole, I think it's just saying that with the guy you can shrink, we're going into bold territory. We're now in the phase of Marvel that is basically the wheels have come off now. We're going at anything. Everything is on the table now. We can do anything. Because we've sold you for two phases now. We've had the highs, the emotional highs and lows, and now we're expanding. We're going into all the uncharted parts of the Marvel universe and like the greater ideas we've finally been building towards. We're there.
And that's very much the case with stuff like Doctor Strange on the horizon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's good. So it's going to be great. Yeah, I think Doctor Strange might be kind of a similar thing we got with here. Kind of another, not like a majorly known Marvel character. I mean, he's always he's iconic in that people recognize the name. Oh, Doctor Strange. He's kind of the big '70s draw of the Marvel characters.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel like Doctor Strange is going to be I feel like I'm hoping that in the same way that this is like the comedy of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm hoping that Doctor Strange is more so not necessarily the horror movie, but more sort of like the supernatural thriller in a way of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It's kind of funny if you think about it. If you would compare Ant-Man to Iron Man, then Doctor Strange would be kind of like Thor, and then of course Captain America being its own thing, Captain America.
And you can there's a lot of comparisons you can make between Ant-Man.
Or actually, if you want to take it a step further, then I guess Captain Marvel would be kind of a blend between Captain America and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sure, let's go with that.
I'm just guessing on that one, mind you.
No, I do agree with you, though, that Doctor Strange and Thor is a pretty good comparison.
But with that said, I got to tell you, though, I've kind of said this before, but like with going forward, it's kind of like Marvel kind of like Pixar at this moment. Funny enough, their next couple the films that are slated next from are kind of bigger chances than the last one. And Marvel, when you look at Marvel's formula, like the next ones are like you think, well, how they've done everything now. We had Ultron last movie. We got Ant-Man, this movie, a guy who can shrink. That's a big step for Marvel. It's like a film that's really never been made before, and they keep doing it now. Civil War is gonna be the most jam-packed of Marvel movies, all the other characters and stuff.
Right.
Of course, it's adapting a really hard-to-adapt story, too, by the way, so that's gonna be interesting to see. And then of course, Doctor Strange and Omer, like they keep pushing the boundaries of what they can do with the superhero movies. That's very impressive, kind of similar to what Pixar is doing over there. Of like they're taking chances, and so is Marvel. And so for Marvel, it's coming up all 7.
Indeed.
But yeah, so I'm sorry. Take us through some strengths, Dickie.
Okay, strengths. Well, let's just talk about the cast right away and how well the cast works.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go as far as to say it's quite as good as Guardians of the Galaxy cast, but it's up there, man. It's up there.
It was extremely solid casting.
I mean, just right down the line. Paul Rudd was fantastic as the lead. He was likable.
Yeah, very endearing.
He was likable. He was somewhat smarmy, but in an endearing sort of way. You definitely see where he's coming from. The character was written really well. Michael Douglas is the standout. Would you agree?
He's the Jack Nicholson of this movie,
He stole the damn show. He was awesome. We'll talk about some spoiler stuff with him, but I can't wait to see where they go with him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I really hope, and that's a kind of interesting thing with him. Well, I know I'm going to say that for spoilers, but the point is just overall, I would love to see him continue to appear within the Marvel Universe. It's kind of like that recurring kind of fabric in the Marvel Universe, along with like how kind of Peggy Carter is now with them.
Right.
I'd love to see more of this Hank Pym. He's awesome.
And then, of course, I think the big surprise in this movie from everyone was Michael Pena.
Oh yeah! I knew Michael Pena was good. I didn't know how good he was going to be. In this movie.
My God!
Wow.
Okay, he is the person that brings the Edgar Wright quality to this movie. I think.
Seriously, Michael Pena is so cool in this movie. So awesome. He's so funny.
Okay, so the device where he's telling the story, and and the people in the story are talking,
lip syncing essentially.
Yeah, they're lip syncing, and they're obviously the people aren't actually that's not what they would be saying, but it looks like that's what they're saying.
And like they do it with the same cadence as him, though, so it's like it's
exactly.
So basically, like they literally are mouthing his words. I mean, you got to remember it's not him just dubbing over them. It's like them. That's a great kind of mime work thing they got going on there. It's like there's.
So I gotta tell you, that is Edgar Wright style in a nutshell. So when I saw that right off the bat, I was like, "Oh my God, they've got some Edgar Wright stuff going on," because that is exactly how Edgar Wright would cut together something like that.
On top of my head, there are 2 things I saw Michael Pena in recently. Just shows you, man, the guy has a lot of range. Like he was in this movie. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Tower Heist.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's kind of maybe another kind of Edgar Wrightian type premise. Perhaps. It's another good heist movie done by Brett Ratner.
I'm not a big Ratner fan.
Well, I know. He doesn't just get Just because he can't do a superhero movie doesn't mean we have to hate all the movies he's done. Come on.
I don't like his attitude more than anything else.
Well, I'm
He's
looking
kind
at
of
his
a
work.
douche.
I'm looking at his work more than who the guy is from that.
Yeah, I don't.
Anyway.
Let's not get into
My
it.
point is, Michael Pena is in the movie, and he plays kind of the comic relief there.
Okay.
He's like the guy coming in, he like gets a job, but Ben Stiller hires him, and he's the elevator operator and the electronics guy. And he recruits him to help him steal, and he's just like a guy. He works at Burger King. Previously to this job, says, "I want to work at the tower," and then pretty much he's just basically he's like that. This is the kinetic element of it all. Of like whenever someone's like Ben Stiller smashing up a car, he says, "Hey, let me get a swing at that." He's really funny in the movie. He's good, and also he does great dramatic stuff too. So here's what I talk about the range. There was a show called Grace Point Take. It's a miniseries. I think I've told you about with Anna Gunn and one of the Doctor Who's.
Was that the series that Vince Gilligan executive produced?
I'm not sure. I never caught his name on the credits, but
okay.
But
okay.
No. The point is, it's no. I think you're thinking of the Battle Creek.
Oh yeah, I am thinking.
But no. Grace Point was like a drama. It was a 10-episode miniseries with David Tennant and Anna Gunn, where basically they investigate the death of a child. He plays the kid's father. And he has a lot of good depth there.
Oh wow.
So Michael Pena's a really great actor. I'd love it if he appeared in the Marvel Universe again too. He'd be great.
So yeah, Sam, we're talking about Michael Pena.
Okay. Did you guys want me to say anything about like first thoughts or anything like that? Like that's fine if you guys want to continue. I jumped on late.
Just really quick, like your first.
Yeah. I mean, I was
welcome back from the microverse, Sam.
Yeah, welcome back, because you never went away. You just shrunk.
Yeah.
And now you're back.
He was spinning pennies on the ground. We just didn't see it.
My display drive or whatever just shut out.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it was shut out for like a good few minutes, and I'm kind of like, what the hell? But
it's a conspiracy.
But yeah. I thought, just in general, that, like, before I was kind of nervous. I was like, this is either going to be a really good film, or it's going to completely bomb, and it's going to bomb at the box office, and it's just going to be Tomorrowland for Marvel.
Oh.
And
that hurts.
Sorry, Tiki.
Well, to be fair, it didn't lose money.
I mean, but when I saw it, I'm like, this is a good film. This is a really good film, and my theater was crowded. It was completely packed with people. So I think that shows just the power of the Marvel brand. But I just thought that it was a good film. It definitely did not meet my expectations, because my expectations were that it was going to be a bad film, and it was not going to be even marginally good.
Well, that's the good way to disappoint, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. How would you stack it up to Guardians?
Ooh, no, I don't think that's possible.
I think it's cut from the same cloth as Guardians in some respects, though.
It's cut from the same cloth in the sense that it's kind of it's not like one of the, I guess you could say, the main characters in the sense of the Marvel brand. But at the same time, I think that the way that they handled, I don't know, the way that they handled the two films was different. I think that the Guardians had a lot of different aspects to it, like a lot of different characters and a different world, so to speak. Different.
Like Michael Pena didn't say he was Groot every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I am Groot, yesterday.
Well, can you imagine if they somehow worked it that you'd hear Michael Pena's voice coming out of Groot?
Hey, I'm Groot. Oh no, you mean like in a story?
Yeah,
So I met this big tree guy, and he was like, "I am Groot, essay."
Yes, we gotta see. That's what we gotta see. We gotta bring Michael Pena's character back so we can have him say, "Well, I met this. Yeah, I met Groot," and then Groot talking like Michael Pena.
And then he runs into the Hulk, and the Hulk's all just casual, like he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go smash some stuff and shit."
This is how Michael Pena meets everyone in the Marvel Universe. Let's make that.
And that's how the Infinity War starts. It's just a giant Michael Pena story.
See, the last person he met was Thanos, and Thanos didn't take too kindly to, and then the Guardians had to bail him out of that situation.
Like Michael Pena is essentially the since we can't have the rights to Silver Surfer, Michael Pena kind of takes on the Silver Surfer role.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Sam. Continue what you were saying.
And so I just think that Ant-Man, while it was similar in the sense that it was more of an obscure brand or part of the Marvel IP, I think that the two films were very different, but different in a good way. You know, it wasn't Ant-Man can stand alone and just be a great film. I just enjoyed them both. But if I had to stack them up against one another, I would put Guardians above it, because to me Guardians was a bit more intriguing, and I wanted to invest more into Guardians of the Galaxy than I did with Ant-Man.
I hear you. I
get that.
Okay, so moving on. What do you guys think of Evangeline Lilly?
I thought she was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she'll be a good part of it moving forward. I gotta say, as a Lost fan, it kind of floors me that she's the one that's getting the movie career. I mean, it's like, where's people like, where's Terry O'Quinn? We need to see more Terry O'Quinn, damn it. That's all I'm saying.
I really liked her dynamic with Scott Lang. You know how just they had this thing where
they were both kind of like
catty to one another.
Yeah, they were both catty towards one another, but they also kind of both could relate to each other in terms of being different. In terms of both having Hank Pym as sort of like this troubled father figure to them in different respects, and how that kind of plays off of them.
Yeah, having a strained relationship within their family, so to speak. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Who else in the cast? I like the other two supporting characters along with Michael Pena. I thought they made a really good group.
Well, actually, one of those guys, he was from The Dark Knight.
Was he?
Yeah, the one who was the technological one. The one who.
Okay.
He was Thomas Schiff from The Dark Knight. Remember the whole? Well, it's either Thomas Schiff or Schiff Thomas. Remember the whole? Harvey Dent almost shoots him in the head when flipping the coin.
Right. And then of course the black guy was T.I.
That's who played. Yeah.
Okay, let's see who else was in this that kind of had a good role. Okay. Well, I guess we should talk about the Yellow Jacket.
Yeah. David Cross. I'm sorry, not David. Cross, the villain.
David Cross. Yeah. I thought he was fine. Like, I thought he was a step above something like Malachite. I don't know. I don't think he's really that great.
I think it's kind of interesting. He's kind of a combo of this kind of weird kind of analogy here, but he's kind of a combination of three villains in the Marvel Universe.
One would definitely be Obadiah Stane.
Yeah, there's some Obadiah Stane, a lot of Justin Hammer, but also a bit of Ronin flair to him.
Yeah, I did see the Ronin in him for sure.
With that, I think especially with the Ronin, I think with Ronin and Hammer thrown in there, it's just kind of for comparative terms here. I think it's like he's given kind of an Obadiah Stane type villain to play, but he spices it up by making the guy really kind of quirky and psychotic. And when it does, at points he's having so much fun with it. I think it just kind of it shows you that he's trying here. He's spicing it up, and I think he's fun. I mean, whenever he's on screen, he's fun. I mean, I think he's definitely better than Malachite.
Oh yeah, easily better than Malachite. Yeah,
he's definitely better than him. And plus, when he's in the suit, he's very intimidating.
I'm kind of having a hard time choosing between him and Ronin. Because I feel like Ronin, people give him crap for not really having a lot to do, but I feel like he had a really good presence to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, also
when I rewatch Guardians of the Galaxy, like just the seeds, like he's got a really intimidating air to him.
Well, that's the thing with Cross too. He's intimidating in the suit, and the fact this guy's really unpredictable, and that he's just he's the bad guy right off the bat because there's like no
it's really obvious. They don't even
that's the thing though. That's where he does the thing where the other Marvel villains may have kind of gone a little wrong with. He owns up to it. He says,
"That's true."
Yeah, I'm the villain." Again, he's really fun. Kind of the fun little this kind of weird thing, but it's just when I was watching the movie. He sounds so much like Kevin Spacey. It's just funny to me.
Oh my God! I know exactly
what
you're talking about.
He sounds so ridiculously like Kevin Spacey to me in the movie.
It was kind of like House of Cards narrates a Marvel film.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, I noticed that.
Now I'm going to show you my shrinking technology.
But he kind of reminded me of did any of you guys see Kingsman?
Yes.
He kind of reminded me of Samuel L. Jackson's character, Valentine, in the sense that, like, he knows that he's the bad guy, and he owns up to it.
Okay.
Like, he admits that, like, I don't know, like, I felt like he was just more blunt with everything.
Well, he's selling an army of killing suits of armor, old suits.
Yeah, exactly. Which, not to like get too deep into comparisons between the two films, but I mean, Valentine in Kingsman is kind of doing the same thing with the chips.
Yeah, it's a lot of subtleties.
Yeah,
I kind of get what you're saying with that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I thought that he was just a good villain.
I'm kind of hoping Luthor and again, I don't want to just go into this whole thing. I said like Batman v Superman. I'm kind of hoping they go the Valentine route with Luthor. To be honest.
Yes,
but
that would be great.
Yeah, but let's not get into that here. But anyway, so the point is, I think he would at first glance. I think it just fits the whole movie as a whole though. At first glance, guy seems like okay, just another guy in an Ant-Man type suit. It's not really much of bad. We can just assume from looking at him in the trailer. And I told you this is my big worry going in the movie, that this guy wouldn't be up to snuff. That he would be just kind of like another. Again, we love Jeff Bridges' Obadiah Stane, but compared to the other Marvel villains and Marvel villains as a whole, they don't peter out that well.
Obadiah Stane. I love Jeff Bridges, but I don't love Obadiah Stane.
Well, that's the thing. Just with that, they didn't really peter out that well for a lot of them. But with that said, just this guy, he made him fun when he was on screen, a little unpredictable. He was a little crazy. I wish they kind of gave him a little more screen time to explain why he was alone, say why he felt so hurt.
I wanted to see a little bit more of his relationship with Michael Douglas,
because
they kind of like make a point of like having it be like, oh, Michael Douglas also kind of has this father-son dynamic going on with this guy.
So I guess with that, should we get into weaknesses a bit, or?
Well, I feel like there's a couple more strengths to go over.
Well, there are tons of strengths. Come on.
Well, first of all, what do you think of Scott Lang's family? Because this is something that actually pleasantly surprised me as well.
I love the family.
The daughter, Marvel once again gets a really genuine good performance out of a kid actor, and this one's even younger than Ty Simpkins.
Yeah, love Casey.
The audience just ate this little girl up. Oh my god!
Sorry, Cassie. I mean, you got me thinking of Tomorrowland. I love Cassie.
There were so many ohs in this movie.
Seriously, he calls her Peanut. I just love there's such a realistic bit in this movie where he gives her the ugly doll, and then she likes it.
Oh, yeah. It's so ugly! I love it.
That's adorable. This girl, she's fantastic. And the comics she becomes.
With her is when she's talking with the stepdad, and the stepdad's like, "Are you trying to find Daddy?" And the stepdad doesn't know how to handle it, so he's like, "Well, yeah, sweetheart. I just want to make sure that your daddy's okay." And then she's just like, "I hope you don't find him." It's like, yeah, she knows what's going on.
That guy plays cops a lot, by the way. The actor who plays her stepfather.
That was a good character, too.
Yeah, no, he was good. He was good,
legitimately, like, he could have so easily been, like, an asshole, but he's not. I feel like he was genuinely sympathetic and likable, like, the whole way through. He's just in this sort of tough position, where he's obviously, like, got this life going on with, with Judy Greer and, and this adorable little girl, but then you've got the father in the picture, so it's, it's a realistic kind of complicated situation, and they don't make him into the bad guy at all.
Certainly. And they kind of call, like, there's one bit in the movie, but I don't think we should get into it, like, only in here. We'll save it for when we get more in depth for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's like, I get nitpicks, but they're very microscopic nitpicks.
And then also 2 quick strengths just to go over before we get into weaknesses. I just feel like the way they did the shrinking effects was better than any of us could have possibly predicted.
Oh,
I love that first scene in the bathtub. That scene got me. I was like, okay, this is going to be really fun. I'm going to feel like a little kid watching this movie now because it's just going to be like exciting to see what places we can go to with this. Because I feel like the bathtub thing was a really good sort of like, trial run for the rest of the movie.
well, if I can piggyback off it to kind of a similar point, I love the technology behind the shrink. I love how they kind of show that, like, little buttons on the gloves and, like, the size disc.
Oh yeah, the size disc.
I love the gadgetry and the technology. Plus, from the moment I saw the trailer, I love the Ant-Man costume in this movie. I really do. It's a great.
It's great. Yeah.
So the whole thing of it, and the idea that you put the helmet on, or else you can't shrink because otherwise your head would fall off.
And then also, just really quick, I was blown away by how good the ants were.
Yeah, I love how they went into the classifications of the kind of like a thing explling the ants.
Oh,
Yes,
it was so
I like
cool.
that.
It was such good world building on their end.
What do you got, Sam?
I think that you guys kind of perfectly summed up what I was thinking about all of this. I thought that one of my favorite characters was of course the sister. I thought that was just such a nice little part of the film. But like you guys were saying with the shrinking effects, I thought that they were just really great. My one complaint with them was that I kind of get like one of my, I guess I have a phobia of like being outsized by things. Like that's why space kind of freaks me out.
Don't worry, Tiki's afraid of giant carnivorous plants, so it's fine.
Oh, I'm terrified of giant carnivorous plants. Oh my god.
Well, I thought
More so just because of the idea of a plant being sentient and carnivorous.
So whenever
at the same time.
So basically, he's terrified of poison ivy. And when we watched that one episode of that, he was on the edge of a seat.
Oh, I hate any freaking thing. Okay, like there's there was something in, I think, a show, Gravity Falls or Star versus the Forces of Evil or something very recently where there was a giant carnivorous Venus flytrap, and I'm like, fuck! I hate it. I hate the idea of it. I hate that it exists. I'm sorry. Moving on.
No, but like that part, like when he's in the bathtub, and all that stuff is happening, like it just kind of like I was like, ooh, I'm so happy that I'm not Ant-Man because I couldn't do that. But like that was really my only complaint with what you guys have said, and that's more of a personal kind of fear.
All right.
But
in regards to him naming the ants and everything, I wanted him to name one of the ants Aunt May.
That would have been a bit of a stretch. Come on.
All right. We got Anthony, Aunt May.
Oh, come on. That's too on the nose. It's too much.
That would have been hilarious. That would have been perfect.
And Aunt May was a super secret agent spy ant.
Jeez.
All right, so I think let's transition into some very few minor little takes that we have with the movie.
Mine, I'm just going to save mine for when we talk in depth because they're very minor. I mean, they're ridiculously minor. I don't think I really bring them up even.
Okay, fair enough. I'm trying to think. I mean,
That's the thing. It's a really good movie, folks. It's really hard to find weaknesses.
I feel like the first half hour or so kind of drags a little bit when they're setting everything up. I mean, there's definitely a lot of stuff going on. I just feel like once we get to the Ant-Man stuff, it's really fun. It just kind of takes a while to get there. Although, there's good stuff with Michael Douglas and Michael Pena and stuff in the process of that.
I don't think it drags that much, Tiki, but that's just me.
To tell you the truth, the only complaints I have kind of come from the spoiler section.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
So, Sam, unless you have anything that you can think of.
I mean, I thought this was more of an overarching feeling that I had when I was watching the film, and like especially in the build-up was more. I felt that they were trying a little too hard with trying to push the fact that he's going to be an Avenger.
Yeah, and I feel like that kind of verges on some of the spoiler territory that we're going to get into.
Yeah, I mean, but like even in the posters and stuff, like there were a few ads that showed him like walking on Thor's hammer. And
I actually, to tell you the truth, that kind of reminded me of the marketing campaign for Lilo and Stitch in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can imagine though.
Who's coming?
You know, it'd be awesome though.
Huh?
If he like ran. I'm not giving anything away here. This does not happen in the movie. I'm just saying I'd love to see this in general for the future.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see if like he just ran across Captain America's flung shield. If like Captain America flings his shield and he just runs on it, or he just hitches a ride on it, or something. I'd love to see that.
That would be
a money shot for sure. I could totally see that as a money shot in an adventure.
Like if someone like throws the shield, like he hitched the ride on, then like surprise.
That actually, I could see that happening.
I'd love to see that.
I do have kind of a legitimate problem. I feel like the whole story arc of, oh, this guy, he's a good man at heart, but he's
a criminal.
They do it well.
But you never see him actually getting the job afterwards. You almost never see that.
Baskin Robbins, they always find out. Really good product placement.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm saying they do good things with it. I'm just saying the whole thing of, like, the criminal who needs to reform his life around to become a hero, to provide for his daughter and everything like that, it's been done before.
Yeah,
and not to mention the dynamic of the ex-wife and the boyfriend who's the cop and it's all been done before. This is a movie that we haven't seen this particular movie before with the shrinking and the ants and the pennies and whatnot, but we've seen the general story arc before.
It's kind of like Night at the Museum.
Yeah, or any number of those types of movies, for sure.
The story arc in general is very very tired, very worn out, but I think they did a good spin on it.
In a really good way, though, and I think they make subversions to it that work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just overall, regardless of the fact that
this isn't like Avatar, where it's just like, okay, we know what's gonna happen here. Oh no, it's the end of Act 2, and the white men are coming to get us, and misunderstanding. Okay.
Regardless of the the facts that it's stuff we may have seen before and stuff like that. I don't know. I think just the flair of with our kind of our great cast we got here and kind of these cool characters. And I think just the Ant-Man flair shines through on these things, where it's just kind of like, man, this is actually a really cool way of going about it. I mean, yeah, it's similar stuff, but it's like, I can because we can get behind this guy. It's like it feels a little more. It feels a little different than per usual,
For sure.
I think that's why you can tolerate it than the usual
it's
stuff.
Just like I'm just a guy who watches a lot of movies, and so and so I just stuff like that does kind of affect me in a way. I don't know. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just, you know what I mean.
I mean, I think I love just the idea, like Scott Lang. He gets out of prison and he's still friends with his former crew, and they have a respect for him. It's like they're going to try to talk him into it, but they respect the fact that he doesn't want to get into it. When he says, "Yeah, I'm in," they take him on and say, "Wait, you sure? I know you want to try to go straight here." It's like they have a respect for him. It's not the usual thing of like, "Oh yeah, he's in." Like they don't force him into it. It doesn't do all the conventions.
Exactly.
It has like the flair of character within the conventions, and I like that about the movie.
Yeah.
And how great is that moment at the very end where it's like, yo, man, we got to go back for Scott. He would do the same for us. We would do anything, bro. And then they pull up all the cops, and it's just like, backing up.
It's like they're, you know what they are?
Backing up.
It's just they're like the wonderful Disney sidekick characters. You know, it's like just when you have like these.
They are. Oh my God,
Yes.
that's a really.
It's like
they totally
Michael
are.
Pena is like his Smee or something. You know, it's like just the wonderful like group of sidekicks and side characters that just like come to the rescue, and then something makes them stop. You know.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like they want to help, but deep down they're like, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just in general, it was a great film. But I think I'm gonna have to drop out right now, unfortunately.
Back to
really?
the quantum.
Oh
zone.
no.
Yeah, back to counting the pennies.
Be safe, Sam. Be
And
safe.
remember, use the disc.
All right, see you, Sam.
Okay, see you guys.
See ya.
All right, so I guess he dropped out just in time for spoiler hour. So
You will be missed.
You will be missed, yes.
Yeah.
And they called him Sandy. No, that's a different guy.
Yeah.
All right, so you ready for spoilers, BlueDragonFive?
Yeah.
All right. This is a spoiler.
Okay.
So just spoiler alert.
Okay.
Spoiler
There are
alert.
there are pin particles in the movie. I said it. No one else would say it, but I said it.
Pin particles.
The shrink. I forget it. Just
I don't.
But that's what that's how he shrinks. They use pin particles. That's what it's called. The chemical and the formula and stuff.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
it's kind of a big thing.
In terms of Edgar Wright, I want to think that specifically he probably left because of the scene that included Falcon.
Yeah. So from what I understand, correct me if you think you've been following a little more closely than I, but if I'm right here. Edgar Wright brought us the main ideas that Scott Lang, he's a former thief. We got that. Basically, he only didn't want to do the Avengers tie-in stuff. He wanted to keep it very self-contained. And Marvel, they wanted to do another draft. Basically, he worked on this for a while. He did draft like 3 drafts of the script and whatnot. Point is, like after they're about to go in production with the script, Marvel wanted to take it and have their own people work to do a pass-through, which implies I'm sure Edgar Wright either predicted this or he was told this. That they want to make it mesh, put references into the other Marvel movies like the other ones have before him, and then probably just said, no, I'm done. That's not mine. Want to keep it self-contained.
So I mean, in that respect, like I'm just glad that, like I said, so much of Edgar Wright's sensibilities and style remains with this movie. But with that in mind, so what do you think of the Falcon fight?
Oh, it was so great and such a great surprise.
I think it was a nice way to kind of make do with Falcon because I thought he was barely in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I mean, again,
he was there, but he had hardly anything to do.
And it would make sense. He's the one you want to do with because you would never buy in a million years that Ant-Man would beat Captain America in a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
And like at this point in time, again, we're going to see this most likely in Civil War, like seeing where the Avengers kind of stand on their whole, like kind of getting the band back together, because right now they're with the new Avengers, which kind of includes that core group. And here's the thing, I can't remember. I got to wait till this the second time. But do you remember who's on the comm link?
No, I don't.
So I can't remember if it's a female voice or I don't know if it's Scarlet Witch or maybe Vision. I don't know.
It could be. I didn't even think about that.
I gotta rewatch just to check. Point is, it's Falcon again. He's one of the most charismatic of the Avengers. He's the guy who wouldn't just be all gloom and doom against Ant-Man. He'd be the one who just kind of approaches him and he tries talking it out with him first, and then he's pretty cool. We all love Anthony Mackie, especially as Falcon. And
I love the bit where he's just like, where Paul Rudd's like, "Oh man, I totally got this. He can't see me at all. I can see you."
Yeah, just Falcon is the perfect choice to face off against Ant-Man. Plus, it just feels like classic Marvel. the meet and greets of the Marvel Universe, where like they're in the same
it
cities.
does. It totally does. It feels like something right out of the comics.
Yeah, again, it's just Falcon. We love Falcon, and just seeing him again is always cool.
And then, of course, I feel like it does lead in very well to the ending with Michael Pena telling the story of Falcon looking for Ant-Man.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just, well, he met Ant-Man. This guy did some extraordinary things, and he wasn't like, I'm going to try to kill the Avengers. No, he just wanted something, and he beat him in a fight. That's all. And he says, well, man, that guy has some talents, and he stupidly revealed who he was, so I can find him again.
Okay, I gotta say, one of the issues I have with this movie is the way that Marvel, once again, it's kind of like, oh no, it looks like we're gonna kill off Hank Pym. It looks like we're gonna have a character die. No, we're not. I don't know.
Well, I think
I just thought it was unnecessary. I don't even think he should have gotten shot in the first place.
Well, no, I think
we all knew he wasn't gonna die.
Well, I think that's interesting, Tiki, because I thought that legitimately had some investment in it, because Hank Pym is a guy, for all at least at the moment, all I knew is that, well, they did the origin of Hank Pym. We know Michael Douglas was never going to be in the suit, so really he served his role in the story. He served his role as mentor and is kind of training him and stuff. And we have like the emotion he had.
We're going to Uncle Ben him.
I don't know. I'm just saying, of all the characters this could happen to, he is technically the expendable one. That he just serves a role of mentor. And in the Marvel Universe, they didn't do the Ultron thing with him, so really he's
right.
Technically, he's not needed in the Marvel Universe. We love him in the Marvel Universe. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, technically, he's not. Okay,
so in that respect, do you think that they should have gone all the way with it?
No. I mean, I love Michael Douglas, and I think I think there's more opportunity keeping him in the Marvel Universe, but I think there was still a legitimate chance he could have died, and I appreciate that. But again, showing that he was shot in the shoulder, there was like a genuine sense, like like if somebody bleeds out, that's still if someone still gets shot in the arm, it's still kind of serious, but not as serious as if they get shot in the chest.
Okay, so do you want to go over some of the post-credit stuff?
Okay.
The mid-credits and then the post-credits. So we see Wasp. You see the Wasp.
Which I love. I was like, oh my god.
Long overdue, because J.J. Abrams, or I'm sorry, not J.J. Abrams, what am I talking about? Joss Whedon initially wanted to put Wasp in the original Avengers movie instead of
Black Widow.
Yeah. So just seeing that, I'm like, okay, it's like, man, finally. Like, I don't know why I'm so excited about Wasp, because I've never been like a big Wasp fan. But just for some reason, the fact that she's been a character that's been around and on the cusp of being in the MCU for so long, and now it's like, okay, there's the suit. We're doing it. It's good to go.
I remember going into the movie, there were two references I was kind of hoping for. I didn't necessarily get any of them. I wasn't upset that I didn't get them, because I knew it was kind of a long shot getting each one. I thought one was a little more certain. I was just hoping to see a Wasp in some form in the movie, like seeing her suit up, just seeing her like on screen, so we could we have all the Avengers finally. Just saying that we've seen all the Avengers on screen, so that would be Ant-Man and Wasp, because they were both members of the Avengers. You got to remember.
Right.
So that was that's mainly the main reason I was thinking, oh, it'd be so great to see Wasp, and she's a cool character too. Anyway, so by the end we see that, okay, Wasp is, relax folks, Wasp is on the way, and we have her in the movie. She's a good character. So point, she was still a fixture of the movie, and in the future we're going to get her full-blown Wasp. And here's the cool part, though. So basically, I got a little bit of my wish fulfillment. We saw Wasp in a flashback, and I was saying, oh yeah, we got some Wasp.
That was great. Yeah, that was great, seeing like a post-Captain America, but pre-Iron Man superhero era.
Yeah. And I just love the idea. I read this in a tie-in comic, and before we go in the movie, like they put out a tie-in comic just showing like it's like a 2-issue thing. I probably mentioned when we were doing all of our Road to Ultron stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was Peggy Carter and Howard Stark, talking to back in the 80s. This is when they were young again. Basically, actually, it was not 80s. It was I think it was 50s. I don't know. It was like during the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. Because the point is, it was like that footage you saw of him. Remember when he was knocking out the guys in the footage?
Yeah.
Basically, you saw that adventure in the comic.
Oh,
so
that's fun.
I forget if I think it was like Cold War era, so I assume it could be from 50s to 80s, because that's it was a long running thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say maybe the 80s. Point is, we're seeing him in action, and just seeing kind of a little flash of one of his last adventures along with Wasp, and it was really cool just seeing him there.
Okay, so what do you think of the kiss between Paul Rudd and the Wasp at the end?
Well, I think it was because I bought into the relationship.
I think it was intentionally meant to be like, oh, okay, this is happening, and that's kind of the way these things always go down.
Yeah,
I think it was a little tongue-in-cheek, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. It is tongue-in-cheek, but I think it was also viable because, their relationship was kind of...
Oh, I think it was certainly viable. They definitely put enough into it.
Yeah, it was viable.
I think it was viable that the two of them would connect.
Yeah.
I think the gag is that they, like, got together on a romantic level somewhat out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, you're right about exactly that, because once you get where it's coming from, but also it's like, in case there's any naysayers, it's like, yeah, we address it, so it's not, it's coming out of nowhere. Yeah, they have to kiss. It's like it's like in a Marvel contract, the hero has to kiss the girl in the movie. Seriously, name one Marvel movie where the guy doesn't get to kiss the girl.
I can't. It's impossible.
Iron Man, got it. Red Level, got it. Certainly all of them.
God.
Really got it.
All right. So
I'm not kissing you. Got that? It's all in there.
Yes.
Okay, actually, wait. There actually might be one. No. I was gonna say Avengers, but no. How Tony kissed Pepper Potts. It's kissing every Marvel movie.
Ultron.
Oh yeah, it's Black Widow. And,
Black Widow. Yeah, duh.
I'm trying to think. Guardians. Actually, wait a minute. Guardians might be the one. He does. He almost
go in for that kiss.
Yeah, they go in.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he doesn't kiss birdies. Actually, Guardians of the Galaxy is the only one without a kiss in it. When you
there we go.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, so let's see. Any more spoiler stuff? Okay. So just I love the freaking last fight and just everything that's going on. And
what do you think? Do you think it breaks the third act streak or what? Well, not third act streak. I mean, do you think it's a good third act? Because sometimes Marvel movies are criticized for having kind of like a third act doesn't really matter.
I thought it was a great third act. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, if anything, the first act kind of dragged, but after that, it really kind of got going.
I hear some people still complain about the third act in this one. Me, I can't really get that because we had like a giant Thomas the Train.
Exactly. That was amazing. That was freaking amazing.
I just loved how it was a contained fight within a room because that feels like Ant-Man.
Right.
Because the movie itself feels self-contained, and that fits for the ending of the movie. It's a self-contained.
And they did such a good job of building up that train in the trailer, so that when we finally see it, we're just like, oh, here we go.
And I love that it was such a surprise when it grew.
So
that's the thing. They showed you, because you knew that for a moment I was a little worried, like, yeah, they kind of gave away one of the best parts in the trailer. When I can now seeing it, of course, but at the time the movie needed it. Don't get me wrong, it needed like that hook. But, I mean, now when you see it, it's like, oh yeah, now the magic's gone. But then when it grows, like, okay, magic back, magic.
Right.
And then the ant grows. It's just the growing and the shrinking effects. And then here, let me get into the other thing. So the other thing I was going into this movie kind of hoping for would be one of the post-credit scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping that post-credit scene would be like him, like Paul were just fiddling around with the shrinking and growing disc and then becoming Ant-Man. I mean, Giant Man. Becoming Giant Man.
Oh, man.
That's what I was kind of going and hoping for. But you know what? I'm going to hope that's in the future we're going to get Giant Man.
I wouldn't have even been thinking about that.
That's going to the movie. That was like that was my dream, my hope. I mean, it didn't come true, but it's fine. We got such a great movie.
Oh, and also a short but sweet Stan Lee cameo.
Yep. I'm just saying, Joe, I was just so glad. I was so surprised and so happy that we got growing. Because I mean, that was a victory enough instead of the Giant Man stuff. But,
exactly.
I love the growing. The growing was awesome. And it served a plot purpose, too. It wasn't just for the show, even though it actually served some plot.
So is there any other spoiler-related stuff we should get to before the after-credit scene?
Oh, yeah, sure. Before like the last after-credit scene, we got the important thing. We got a reference to Doctor Strange, it looks like. A big old reference.
With the Quantum Zone?
Yeah, the Quantum Zone apparently is one of the realms that Doctor Strange might be exploring.
Figured that much, yeah.
Watching the movie, I didn't
know much about Doctor Strange, but when I was watching the movie, I was like, I bet this has something to do with Doctor Strange.
I'm aware of like there being, see in Marvel there are kind of a bunch of zones similar to this. Like there's it's called
the Phantom Zone.
No, that's Superman.
I know it's Superman. I'm kidding.
I know, but however, in Fantastic Four, there's something called the Negative Zone, which actually factors in the Civil War, but I doubt you were going to see it. I'm not sure if they're going to go the extra. I doubt they're, because Ant-Man's just been introduced, so they're not going to have the microverse be explored that fast in Civil War.
Right.
But the idea is like Negative Zone is kind of a prison for supervillains. It was just it used to be another universe, but then Tony Stark fashioned into a prison containment cell.
Okay.
In Civil War, but I'm wondering if in the future it might be kind of explored like the negative zone, so like microverse. I'm not too familiar with Ant-Man, but it serves like kind of you explore and you find other facets. It's like a whole world's in there, but you just have to. Well, as we see in this movie, it's kind of hard to stay conscious in the micro.
And then of course we have like just a big old sort of loose end with the original Wasp.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, Michael Douglas said he would like, again, it makes sense that he would want this, but he wants Catherine Zeta-Jones to play Wasp. And I got to tell you, casting-wise, that wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be too bad.
I can see it. I think she could be convincing as the mother of Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah, I mean, I could buy her. She looks enough like like her mom, but also she's a good actress, and I think it makes sense.
Okay, so
she's younger looking than Michael Douglas, so there's that too.
So I think that's about everything until we get to the post credits.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but we'll get to it later. So
right.
Yeah, so let's get to the big old after credit scene.
Okay, so I was not expecting this at all. I was not
either.
Okay, now let me tell you a story though, Dragon. So literally all my theater except for one row of people had gone out by the point that the soundtrack had started rolling and stuff like that. And literally, so they were like, they were starting to get out. And you had told me, I had asked you specifically, is there going to be a post-credit scene?
Yeah.
And you were like, yes.
Because people now are paranoid about it since Joss Whedon did his last. It's kind of a slight to Marvel almost for like saying, well, you guys going to screw with my movie? Well, no after credit scene. Now I'm going to make people wonder for movies onward. It's kind of like his ultimate slight to Marvel rules. Again, not a big slight because he didn't get to make the movie after all, but still just a minor slight.
I could definitely notice the difference because most of the audience had cleared out by that point. In fact, many people cleared out before even the Wasp scene came on.
Curse you, Whedon.
But this group they're about to watch. I'm just not about to let them do that. As a fan, I'm just like, hey guys, I talked to a guy. He said that he said there's something after the credits. So BlueDragonFive, you had a hand in saving a whole group of people from missing that post-credit scene.
Yay! I saved people! Hooray! Okay, but before we talk about what did you think the post-credit scene was going to be?
Oh, I
had a few theories.
At this point, I was kind of thinking it was going to be something Spider-Man related.
I was thinking Spider-Man also.
Yeah. I was thinking either like a Daily Bugle reference or I don't know.
For me, I was thinking Spider-Man or Giant Man, one of those two.
Right.
Because they mentioned him in the movie.
Certainly something with Captain America was a possibility because Captain America was referenced in the movie. So it wasn't a huge shock to see him pop up.
Yeah. So basically our end credits here, it's we come in, we see Sam Wilson and they're out of costume, importantly. So it's Sam Wilson and seeing Steve Rogers, and it looks like we have a special guest from Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Could it be the Winter Soldier himself, Bucky Barnes?
Bucky Barnes! He died! And he'll never be seen again, ever!
It's so fun. Gary Sinise does not sound a thing like that. It always makes you laugh when you do that. Okay, anyway, so yeah, also, is it just me, or I don't know if it's like the way he's hunched over. Does it look like he's a little, putting on a few pounds? It might be just the way he's hunched over. I don't know. Again, I saw it once. I gotta watch it again. So.
It also is worth noting that these are basically dailies that they decided to put in front like a week before. So this was some really rushed footage that they're talking out here. So the camera angles aren't exactly the best either.
Well, anyway, so it looks like again, I have to watch again to really know all that's going on here because there might be like a thing. I heard someone say like he's caught in a trap right now.
Yeah, what I kind of took out of it was going to kind of be like this might be the moral issue and dilemma that plays a part in setting off Civil War.
I can tell you what it's going to lead to because Kevin Feige announced that today.
Okay.
So he announced the kind of the basically based off the post-credit stuff, where it's going to how it's going to factor into to Civil War. So basically, the premise, not even just this particular, but just in general with Civil War, is one of the big elements of Civil War is going to be, without giving spoilers or anything. He didn't give spoilers or anything, but Bucky Barnes will definitely factor into the plot, so it's going to definitely pick up from like. It's basically, I get a sense that Bucky Barnes is going to be worked into the Civil War conflict of that. All the Avengers who are going to be jam-packed in that movie are going to be telling Cap it's going to be a big moral issue of Cap. You just can't save this guy. He's not who he used to be.
That's exactly what I'm thinking it's going to be.
So that's what he said. That's going to be a big old plot point in the movie that might kind of, if not, basically drive further the wedge they got going on between him and Tony, I assume.
Right.
There'll be just people just saying, hey, listen. You tried saving this guy. It's a noble thing you're doing, but he might not be able to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
So, because when I saw the movie, when I saw the end credit scene, he just looked like he was disturbed to me. I didn't quite see any device or anything.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. He looked more gone than he ever looked in Winter Soldier, I think.
Because I don't know, because I heard people saying he's like caught in a vice, which would make sense why they would want help from Ant-Man.
Exactly.
But I'm not sure, because it said should we call in Tony? He says no, and then he mentions the Accords, and people are saying, we'll just only assume that it relates to the Civil War Registration Act, the human.
Right, yeah.
It would be like a nickname for it, I guess, the Accords.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I got to rewatch it. I'll let you know if I see like vice device. Just keep a lookout for that when you watch it again, okay? Just see if he's like caught in a device or something. Because that just
sure.
They gotta watch. Gotta see that.
And all right, I guess with that in mind, I think we've covered our first reactions pretty thoroughly. And like I said, we will be back probably about, I'd say probably Friday, most likely, to do our big 2 to 3 hour spoiler analysis of Ant-Man.
Well, I think you mean small 2 to 3 hour spoiler announcement.
Yes, very miniature 2 to 3 hour podcast.
One could say ant-sized.
Oh God. All right, in the meantime... Yeah, that is it. That is it, BlueDragonFive. All right. Let's see. I want you to break into a place and steal some shit.